You're watching Business Edge. Thank you so much for being there. At this time, we look at some top business stories, and joining me to discuss the headlines this week is Akin Fatunke. He's a chartered accountant. It's glad to have you in our studios.
Glad to be here, Lekon. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, it's been announced that UK has entered recession. Would that have an impact on remittances to Nigeria?
I believe it will, in quantums and in leaps. However, from the very macro level, it may not. Why I said that is, if you look at the volume of trade that Nigeria does with UK, I mean, you cannot compare, say, with India. You can't compare with China, nor can you compare with even Germany. So in terms of the kind of trade volumes, in quantum terms, from the macro level, it may not. But the remittances are likely to be. Basically because you have a lot of Nigerians who are diasporans in the UK sector, and you have large swathes of communities where you have Nigerians and the Nigerian languages has been spoken. You have large swathes of communities where our foodstuffs, our mores, our cultures, our dances are all queued in there, and they make quite a lot of money with the 0.03% downturn on the back of what has happened in the last 3 months and the last quarter, and Britain going into recession. Nigerians living in the diaspora might find it difficult. Don't forget, Lekon, also, like for most of Africa, the Nigerian situation is also bedeviled by informal flows, okay? These are flows that does not come straight direct, that does not make you and I, and of course, Dr. Yemi Cardoso and Nigerian economy happy. It goes through some second, third parties, does not help to count, and that we may begin to see more of that, which fuels really, I dare say, the black market. And it's one of the things that we are still battling with. I must also say that in the receiving country, that is Nigeria, we are having our coughs and our catarrhs. Our economy, too, has been in fits and starts, I dare say, waiting to see what recession might happen. I pray it doesn't happen, but the cost of living and the high inflation that we are grappling with, add that on to galloping unemployment, quasi-unemployment, and the poverty rates that we have in here might be a factor that we may not be able to see. But I'm happy that the governor of Lagos State, as an example, I'm talking about Governor Sanwo-Olu, just met with Kemi Badenoch of the UK, and at least in the long term, promises are being made that Lagos and Nigeria will be a destination of relative choice. I wish His Royal Highness, okay, the King of England, quick recovery, but he himself has said over and over again that the kind of cultural ties that we have with Nigeria should be ongoing. A lot of investments are going to flow in here, and hopefully they will go through the right channels.
Okay. All right, let's not tie that to the current inflation figures in Nigeria. We're looking at 29.9% as of January. Now, of course, we do not expect the Nigerian economy to enter into recession because it would affect a whole lot of businesses and other African countries. Now, could price control help ease the burden?
Lekon, it cannot help, okay? So, pure and simple, it cannot help. You cannot look for a legislation. As we see, I am afraid with my brother going to court to go say, for instance, Falano, and that certain levels of prices should be controlled. It cannot happen, and it will not happen. And I do not think President Bola Tinubu is even attuned to want to not be talking about price control. Hey, we've seen this video before. We've seen it play before, where we tried to put, we can control. Look at my industry. We have tried, how can we control, how can we enforce? How many armies, how many soldiers? You don't want to shift some form of inefficiency and corruption to the wole woles of this world, the people that will not be saying, are you selling at, or are you not selling? Lie against you or not lie against you, seize your goods, continue to despoil the situation. Look, the cure is simple. Nigeria has to produce more. Our food insecurity, hopefully, as I see that Mr. President is making some little bits here and there. The real cure, as in permanent cure, will be to secure security issues, to look and assume that floods can happen tomorrow, and then our food inflation will go beyond 35%. That's the truth. We all need to just get ready. And then patriotism, okay? When people are hoarding food items, what exactly does that portray? We are over-religious. We have the churches, we have the mosques, we have the shrines. But we don't have the milk of human kindness. We must resolve all this. And as I always say, the thing to press is the fact that we must restructure our mind, we must restructure the polity, and we must make Nigeria working at our various, areas of strength and thinking to bring something back to the center. Price control cannot work.
Okay.
It can't, and it will not work.
Okay, so let's now quickly look at Nigeria's Dangote oil refinery that has just released tenders to sell 2 fuel cargoes for export. Now, analysts say more of this could become a source of FX liquidity. Do you agree with that?
I'd like to agree with that ceteris paribus, as we say in the language of economics. And by the way, just yesterday I was shaking. I'm not trying to drop names. I saw Alhaji Dangote. It was at a commiseration for Herbert Wigwe, and we just shook hands. For most of the times he was walking the floor. Is it to Tafraga, the tenders and the bids? I want to believe structured places like that with 60,000 metric tons of naphtha, which is high demand, and the other ones is 5,000 metric tons. When these funds come, believing that the central bank is having a look at it, and as if to make sure that we're thinking about today, yesterday, the tinkering that says that NNPC proceeds, should be coming through the central bank. I believe the central bank eyes are open, and I believe, and I have no doubt about me, that the gentleman that you call Dangote will do the needful. I will not in any way, it may be beyond him, get to the banks, and the banks must not continue to play with these monies. Transparency, accountability. 20 went out. If 18 comes back in, where are the 2? If 20 went out and 22 is coming in, why are we getting that kind of variance? I think it's going to help substantially. And as we move forward, our FX supply challenge.
Fatunke, incidentally, tanker drivers have just said that they are going to be starting an industrial action on Monday. That's to be next week. So would this not, in a way, make a bad situation worse for the country?
If it manifests, it will, Lekon. And as we say, the language of Nigeria is balance of terror. They will not hear you unless you say you are going to go on strike. I think Uthman and his group obviously must have been discussing. Cost of doing business to them is high. It's high for every other person too. Lekon. I dare say that I'm sitting in a very beautiful studio here at New Central. The cost of operation here is not my mind. Likewise, in the hospital, we have run the economy aground. Yes, we can try. You can see that labor is also saying that they will go on strike if they don't get 1 million. We have turned ourselves into a kind of, if you don't force them, they will not get in there. But from what I see in the past, I like to say what I've seen in the past 5 years, my prediction, Lekon, is that government will listen a little bit, not being able to meet them 40%, and then discussions will go on, put a little bit of roadmap, and this This threat to go on strike will not happen. Lekon, I also hope you realize that some sectors of the economy have said that they are going to go on strike. This time around, they are going to go naked. It's a sign that the economy has grounded terribly bad, and the only way is for all of us to come back together, look at it critically, restructure this polity, and then make a decision to be a bit patriotic when we see good examples from those who lead us.
Well, before I let you go, let's just quickly look at a few of the complaints of the Nigerian Transport Tankers Association. Now, they talked about poor road conditions, talked about traffic congestion, inadequate parking facilities, delayed payments, policy concerns. How well do you believe that the government can come to their aid, listen to them, and deal with these perennial issues to them? Of course, I'm looking at the fact that it increases operational costs and costs of transporting these particular commodity from point A to point B.
Obviously, just telling us stories that you and I know, Lekon. In my industry that I worked in, whether it's Pengasan, whether it's Nupeg, it's the same thing. The roads are not repaired. They are having challenges with security agencies that stop them from doing what they need to do because of diesel. Yeah, we keep on hearing this. And these are manifests of how we have run our economy to a situation where we are now bankrupt. And so do we have the revenue to be able to do that? Yeah, I think we are beginning to see a little and little by little, it will not get into the kind of quantum of what we are looking for. We have subsidized consumption. We are still looking towards subsidizing consumption. Subsidy is back. So where is government going to get the money to be able to now repair these roads within the way and means that NATO wants, Pengasan wants, you and I want?
But the Nigerian government has been able to save an appreciable number of cash from the supposed fuel subsidy removal. We saw that in the fact where about 3.3 trillion naira was shared to the state. So doesn't that look as though there might just be some monies, an increase in the financial portfolio of government somewhere that can be used to deal with these issues?
Quite right. Though from the economic financial aspect of it, and that will take us time to be saying, is this savings or is it opportunity costs? Is it money you will have gone to borrow? In any case, there's a time lag. We needed to do a time lag between June and December and now. Of course, fair allocation has gone up. So should NATO be looking at the federal government? Should we not be looking at the state government? What are they doing there? Or are we therefore saying the structure that we are operating that puts a lot of fair allocation to governors, many governors who have decided that they are going to be traders with a complicit then CBN, take the money, go and change it at the black market, sometimes at the official rate, and then sell to the black market, and the cycle of Wahala continues. Look,
okay.
Let's even assume, for sake of argument, that we have been able to save this handful that I have in here. Let's put it times 10 of it. The point is that the infrastructure deficits that we are talking about, for us to be able to make even a marginal improvement, you need about feasts like this of 10. And you can't have feast of this of 10 and be able to spread.
Okay.
Population, demand, ASU, just name it. You're still talking about electricity tariff that we are still battling with. Nigeria is badly damaged, and I think NATO has a point. It's like, say, yes, we've been saying it. Please, I just thought I should just remind you as a memoir. Please remember, if you have done 1, can we think of doing 2 at the federal? If you have done 4 at the subnational level, can you think of now doing a bit more? CNG, where are we on it? So the cost of diesel is so high. Just trying to remind you that don't continue to get confused. Stay on the lane.
Okay, well, that actually means that there's a lot of things that the Nigerian government will need to do if only they can take the cue to look at these issues and deal with them accordingly. Akifatunke, a chartered accountant, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show.
Thank you very much. Collectively, we can make it.